No reports. Mr. Mecca.
Yes, sir.
You're going to give us our In Rem update as well as everything else? The Honorable Mr. Mecca.
Yeah, we're
going to cover for the town attorney.
Turn as far as In Rem is concerned. I've been working very closely with Mr. Noto. There are like maybe 12
really
that we will have to bring to the board very soon.
Wow.
As to we have to get out there and start the ball rolling because there's been no contact.
Really?
There's been no money.
Right.
Most of them, as we said last time, are commercial. They're not residential. The few little residential ones that we did have finally come forward.
Okay.
One, unfortunately, was a little guy from Mamaroneck that they found him wandering the streets. He was just in trouble, and his daughter was trying, so finally now he has an aide, and his daughter is going to clean that up. So as far as the small houses are concerned, we're in pretty good shape. It's these few commercial ones that just don't seem to be budging, so we'll have to draft what we need to do and present it to Bishop and the company, whoever, and, begin looking at possible auction.
Wonderful.
So, okay, as far as everyday people, it's time for the school bill. We're already halfway through. If you have to pay it yourself, we're already halfway through the month of January. It's a blue bill like this, and I'd like to remind everybody again that come February 1st, if you are delinquent, it's a 10% penalty, which on these school bills can be very, very steep.
Yeah.
Like this one I have in my hand here, this happens to be a $7,400 bill. If this was not paid, it'd be $748 penalty.
And when the
February 1st that would begin. So you have the rest of this month to
everybody
clean
home,
up.
February 1st, get your school taxes paid. Otherwise, this is the second payment, right?
The second payment.
Right.
But it can backdate to the first one if they haven't paid that, so it becomes some huge money in a lot of people.
Wow.
So it's very important that everybody double check if you are responsible for your taxes. If your bank or your mortgage company is taking care of it, you don't have to worry about that. But personally, it's something you should watch very closely.
And this is all the villages, right? I mean,
all three, all school districts, yes, everybody. And then right behind that will be the second payment of Rybrook Village, which is the smallest. It's only 1/3 of the village tax, so that will be, those bills, as a matter of fact, I just authorized today, so they'll go out in the mail later on this week.
For payment by when?
That's paid by February 28th. So there's time on those, but the school is very important. Okay?
Excellent.
I have
Any
a quick
questions?
question, yes.
Yes, sir.
Is it when your envelope is postmarked, or does it have to be received by?
No,
that
postmarked
date?
is fine. Postmarked by the post office. The
Okay.
law actually states we cannot take any other thing than the post office postmark, like
Okay.
the Pitney Post machine is not honored. It has to be the United States postmark.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Okay, any questions other than that? Okay.
No, that's perfect.
Right.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Mecca. Thank you.
Could pay it online.
And pay it online. Yes,
You could
thanks for
always pay it
reminding us.
online.
Exactly right.
Matter
Exactly.
of fact, we have about a payment coming every day.
Oh, beautiful.
People are more and more to
Do online.
utilize it. Yes.
Excellent. Fantastic. Thanks for your hard work, Mr. Mecca. Hope Town Clerk Vespia?
I don't
Nothing?
have a report.
Okay.
I submitted my report.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Noto's unfortunately, he had a zoning meeting he had to go to, so he's not with us this evening, or actually had left and is coming back. But since I've taken up Bill Villanova's management style, we're going to be finished pretty early here. Crawford Park. Did you have something you want to talk about Crawford Park, Bishop?
Yeah, I think in light of the various pieces of publicity, perhaps we want to try and explain what the situation is and what the plan is clearly to the public.
Okay.
We did have 3 full-time staffers that took care of Crawford Park, as well as all of the other properties that Rytown Park is responsible for, including the cemeteries that Rytown is responsible for, including the cemeteries, including Rytown Park, and including the various In Rem properties that we have, 10 Pearl Street, etc. So well, I shouldn't say we, but the town council agreed to perhaps change direction in this particular regard and outsource the work. And we are in the process of doing that outsourcing. Recognize that in the off-season, our staff was primarily responsible for trash collection, for whatever event coordination occurred, plus doing handyman projects in and around the town. They would do things like paint rooms either in the mansion or at 10 Pearl Street. They would do repairs that might be necessary, those types of work in the off-season or in the wintertime. In the summertime, they were a bit more active because there were many more events at Crawford Park, and consequently they would assist with those events. What we've done is we have extended an existing agreement with an outsourced contractor. In this case, it's Greenway Property Services. And at least for the moment anyway, until March 31st, Greenway Property Services, in addition to what it did for us normally in terms of taking care of properties, they also now will handle trash pickup throughout the various properties, and they also are providing us handyman services. So we're covering the work that our staff used to do. By the way, they also do the snow plowing for all of our properties.
And Mr. Nowotnik, that contract was put in place in October 2011?
The original landscaping agreement actually began September 1 of 2011, so we've had a year and a half roughly of experience with Greenway, and it's been a good experience.
It is.
In essence, I know that there's been some concern on the part of various people in various groups that the parks might not be maintained. We should understand that we still have George Hogman, our park caretaker, who lives on the premises at Crawford Park. He is every bit as active as he should be. So he is patrolling the park every day. He sends me a report of any issues that he has, and I then will farm that out to either Greenway Property Services or some other contractor that might be better suited for whatever work is required. Larger jobs we will bid on, and we think we're going to do fairly well in terms of taking care of the park. I get a weekly report from Greenway in terms of all of the kinds of work that they do, and particularly the handyman services. Understand that the trash and cleaning that we get from them is very routine. They pick up and they empty maybe a half a dozen trash cans in Crawford Park, maybe a dozen or so trash cans at Rytown Park. They handle the trash at Rytown Dock on Stuyvesant Avenue in Rye. And they also provide me with a cleaner, and every Friday we thoroughly clean Crawford Mansion. So these are the kinds of things that our former staff took care of. These tasks are being handled by Greenway at this particular point. But it's the handyman stuff that we're beginning to see some real value in. They've gone through Pearl Street, for example. They've repaired all the lights at Pearl Street. They've gotten rid of all the trash at Pearl Street. The town council would be pleased to note, because the judges are also pleased, we got rid of the ramp that was in the back of the courtroom for the past year and a half. The people that saw the Season's greeting sign up on the front of the building, well, Greenway's handymen took that down and put that into storage. Again, they're taking care of those kinds of jobs and doing it fairly effectively.
Terrific.
All right. And lastly, we intend to assemble an RFP and officially rebid this work in the next couple of months, so that by the time summertime rolls around, we think we're going to be effectively placed with the proper contractors. Event coordination, which I skipped over, we have, in the interim, over the past year or so, we've hired 4 independent event coordinators. So whenever there's a party or there's an event going on at the mansion or at the pavilion, we have a designated person that basically babysits that event, takes care of that event, works with whoever the hosts or hostesses are, and helps them have a successful event there. This way, what we've done effectively is we've tied our labor cost directly to whatever revenue that we generate. And that's been working very well. That program is now 8 months, 9 months old. And has proven to be extremely effective. We'll be going out into the marketplace. We're hoping to pick up 2 more, at least, event coordinators so that we can make sure that we have appropriate coverage.
Perfect. Any questions from the board?
Those weekly reports that you get from Greenway, is that something you could just forward the board when you get them so
Sure.
we can keep a...
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Good idea.
Yeah, not a problem.
Now, I know this is a new program. I open it up again for questions or comments from the public. If anybody had any comments or questions on this new policy, if there's no questions or comments, it's fine. Thank you, Mr. Nowotnik. Thanks for all your hard work. Okay, Mr. DeCresenzo. That's a nice name. DeCresenzo.
I'm kind of partial to it. Good evening, everybody. Have you read the report? Any questions? It's pretty straightforward. Most of the bridges and all the properties seem to be in good order. The 2 that are receiving most attention, obviously, are Jefferson Avenue. The project is at a bit of a standstill right now because one of the contractors that was supposed to start work, because the target dates were earlier, had to move on to another job. So they're using some kind of backup plan with another contractor, or they're going to do the general contractor is going to handle it themselves. That should be getting back underway very shortly, and they're going to start building the abutments and remove the center pier. Once they build the cofferdams, they have to get a certain approval to do the cofferdams to redirect the water, and that should be starting shortly. And we should be putting out to bid the repair on the wing wall at Otter Creek this month, and hopefully work will be starting at the beginning of March. That's the plan that our engineers have. And other than that, it's pretty quiet. Everything's still standing.
Quiet's good.
Working order.
That's good news when it comes to
Yes.
this kind of stuff.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr.
Okay.
DeCresenzo. Okay, Councilwoman Collins.
Yeah, I would just like to follow up on the Crawford Park and just the parks in general and our change of policy that we've experienced. You know, I do know that there was some public concern. I saw the papers, and I just wanted to reassure the community that, you know, we are members of the community as well as members of the council, and we all want the same thing, and that is to, you know, improve our parks and our buildings that we're responsible for the betterment of the community, and do it at the best rate with the most skilled people that we can. And I think it's just going to take, you know, a short time for our new policies to take effect, but I'm fully confident that we're going to get there and that we're all going to be happy with the final result. And if for some reason we're not, we'll make sure that we find a way to make it right. You know, trial and error will get you further than just, you know, being complacent. And so, you know, I'm excited for our policy changes. It's been a little bit rough, but I just want to assure members of the public that we are also members of the community, and we all want the same thing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councilwoman Collins. Councilwoman Mendocino-Dillon.
Yeah, in addition to that, I believe that Christina and I will be working on some projects on the inside, picking colors and trying to do some updates. We kind of put that on hold once the storm set in. That set us back, not having any power, having trees on the mansion. So now that things are getting back to, and the holidays have passed, we can start that project looking
Spruce
at that
things
again.
up on the inside.
I just had one other question. I was looking at the defibrillator back there, and a couple of months ago I had asked if we could have the ambulance people just make sure we're updated. Did we have them look at it by any chance?
I spoke with Scott Moore literally about a week and a half ago about that exact item.
Perfect.
He's promised us, we have a total of 4 defibrillators through the town, He will come in and he will review each one of them.
Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Mendocino Daly. Councilman Norris.
No comment.
No comment. Thank you. Deputy Supervisor Villanova.
Well, I also want to touch base on the new policies and the programs that we've put in place with regards to the park management. I think that Councilwoman Collins used the right word, is that we're not complacent. If we were, we would settle for what was there. And if anyone can look back on the meetings that we've had and the level of service that we were striving for, and it just seems that we weren't really getting there. And I think that through these changes and with the vendors that we're going to have working with us, the level of responsiveness to what we need at the parks, both Crawford Park and Rytown Park, will be far greater. I will say that yesterday I met with the Supervisor Carvin, met for a little while as well. He can make comment to that, but I met with the Friends of Rytown Park yesterday, and they had some of the similar concerns. But after discussing the program and the opportunity that we have and the vision that we have for the parks, it appears that they understand better that it's not changing the level of commitment, the services or the staffing that we can provide. So if we need an electrician, we'll get an electrician or a plumber or whatever that may be, just as Mr. Nowotnik mentioned. So that dedication, that level of dedication is still there, if not on a greater level. I do want to make mention again, March 7th, Charlie Scopoletti at the Capitol Theater. This will be a great event, and I'm proud to say I've known Charlie since he was a little boy, and I actually, when he was going through his troubles, that's how long I've known him. And it's a great family. He's a beautiful young man with a great heart, and I just urge everyone, if you can come out and support Charlie and support the organizations that he's looking to provide some funds to, I would appreciate that personally. I also want to obviously make comment again that Mr. Grancelli was the comptroller here in the town of Rye, and we've known, a lot of us have known Joe for many, many years, and he always had a great smile on his face. He's a very pleasant man, and obviously the town of Rye has a big loss as well. And so I'm looking forward to a great new year and some great changes, and maybe we'll partner with some new faces as well. And that's all. So thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor Villanova. I just want to echo the comments that have been made here on the board, and again, just make clear to the people at home that we're not perfect, but we are working as hard as we can to try and accommodate all the needs of the community. For those of you who saw the Sunday Journal News, there was a big article on the tax burden put on our community. I don't need to tell anybody, in Westchester County we have the highest property tax burden in the nation. Our median property tax is $10,000, the highest in history, the highest of any state in the nation. So we're trying to balance, obviously, the needs of the constituents, the needs of the user of our various parks, the needs of the users of our various services with a reasonable budget. And we're doing our level best. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we don't. And I also understand that, when you change programs, that causes some concern and consternation, legitimate and very fair-minded concern and consternation. Last month we made a presentation on our budget. You'll remember that Rytown is unusual in that over 80% of our revenues are not tax revenues. Those tax revenues have fallen 40% from 2007 to 2011. So we made some very, very difficult personnel decisions. Personnel decisions we didn't want to have to make. Personnel decisions we didn't make in the 5 years we've been here. But we're still going to use $350,000 of our fund balance. So as good fiduciaries of the town of Rye, trying difficult to operate in a difficult environment, we made some tough decisions. So I just encourage people to be vigilant. We understand that we're under intense scrutiny. We understand we've got to deliver, and ultimately, we're very hopeful that we will, and we'll provide the same kind of level of service with hopefully a little bit less cost. But we'll work very hard, and as Councilwoman Collins points out, look, if we need to make adjustments, we'll certainly make adjustments. I think the last thing I'd like to do is I like to joke around in the town of Rye about Mr. Nowotnik. He's a good friend, and we sometimes like to make fun of him. But I have to say he is a hard working individual. He's taken over the facilities management of both Crawford and Rye Town Park with a gusto. You won't find a more conscientious public official in New York State, and so I want to thank him for all his hard work. And I know he has my full support and the full support of the board. And we want to work hard to accommodate everybody's needs, and we want to work as constructively as can with everybody in the community, all the voices in the community. And finally, I'd like to say we had at the Rye Town Park meeting, comments and questions from the public put to us make us better. Constructive criticisms make us better. And I'd like to invite everybody to, contact me directly, contact Mr. Nowotnik directly, anybody on the board directly. We're here to respond. I don't think anybody could really argue we haven't been responsive. Maybe we have a different view of how to run the park. Maybe we have a different philosophy. But certainly we want to make absolutely every effort to respond to any questions, queries, concerns, and we certainly will do that. That I can guarantee. And if it doesn't happen, I want to know about it. So we will be responsive. We may disagree, but certainly you will have an answer as to why we're doing this or that. And so we're looking forward to making 2013 a very good year. I want to wish everybody at home a happy new year. Now, what's the word, Mr. Hubert, for people that are nervous and superstitious about 2013? There's a word, like somebody who's superstitious about 2013. What do you call it? What?
Trixidecaphobia.
Trixidecaphobia. Was a trixidecaphobia person. We're headed into 2013, and I want to make it as good a year as possible. So let's make the best of it. Thank you, everybody, for coming out this evening. With that, can I get a motion to bring the meeting to a close?
We do just want to wish everybody a happy Martin Luther King Day on Monday. Our offices we're open, right?
No,
we're closed.
No,
Apologies.
No, don't worry about it.
National
Five minutes there is Martin Luther King Day of the past.
Well, actually,
I hope everybody enjoyed it then.
If people go online, there's an event Saturday evening at All Souls Church at 7 p.m. Martin Luther King celebration. So that's All Souls Church. Sunday, I think it's January 20th. At 7 p.m. at All Souls Church. So if you get a chance, go out, and that's Bruce Baker's church next to Lions Park. So if you get a chance, go support. It's a wonderful celebration. Obviously, Martin Luther King's a national hero, a national inspiration. Well, I will mention also, since it's going to be taped afterwards, some people know I have a charity called One World United and Virtuous, and I'm giving a talk Thursday night at One World at 7 p.m. Online, and it's going to be on the existential threat to humanity. And so it's a big topic, not probably the topic you want to start the year off with, but Martin Luther King, I think, showed us the way forward, peaceful engagement, and ultimately, so Martin Luther King, if you're listening, those of us in the town of Rye want to wish you a wonderful celebration, and if you get a chance, go out to the All Souls Church Sunday at 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any others? Can I get a motion to bring the meeting to a close?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks very much. Thank you, everybody.